Okay, so most of you know cooking is not really my thing, even though I grew up with a grandmother who owned a catering company and a couple of restaurants. My mom, my aunt, my cousins, my brother, my sister, they all kind of got into the cooking thing. I did it, I think, when I was staying at home, when I was pregnant with, it would have been Trina at the time. I did a lot of cooking. I love Pampered Chef recipes. I owned every book, every utensil, pot, and pan. But then I kind of got out of it, especially when I met Robin, because she is a professional chef. So I dabble in it every now and again, and now that I'm home a majority of the time, I'm going to start cooking a little bit more, take stuff off her plate, and then just dabble in the fun. I do love fresh ingredients, so I went to Detweiler's today to get everything I need. I've always made a quinoa salad before. I have found one online. I can't remember the name of it, but I modified it so much, I guess it really doesn't even matter. But I did start off with boiling some quinoa, and normally I would use vegetable broth because I try to go mostly plant-based. I thought I had some, but it was gone, so the only one I found in there was chicken broth. So I boiled that. Ooh, I'm gonna make a mess here. And because it's a salad, make sure it's chilled, I put it on this pan so that it could cool once it was done. I'm using a tri-colored quinoa just because it's prettier. So we'll get all this into a bowl. I used 4 cups of the broth to 2 cups of the quinoa, and you see how large of a bowl I'm using here. Ooh, I might even need a bigger one. It's gonna make a lot of salad. Quinoa is great because it is high in protein. That's why I like it so much. It's very versatile. I do feel it tastes better in savory dishes as opposed to sweet dishes, even though I've seen a lot of people adding this to desserts and stuff, but it's very grainy to me, but hey, knock yourself out. Okay, so we have this quinoa in there. I'll set that to the side. I have drained and rinsed a can of chickpeas. I think I'm gonna wait to the end because they kind of get smushy a little bit. You can smush them up a little too much. We're gonna add, I chopped this all up earlier. You don't have to add the kale. I like to add the kale. And here's extra, probably 5 or 6 large leaves of kale. Probably 3/4 of a red pepper. A half of a English or burpless cucumber. Jalapeno, probably 1 whole fresh jalapeno, gives it some nice kick. And then a little bit of red onion. I don't think Robin likes it. I'm sorry, honey, but I like the red onion because onions are good for you. And I think it gives it that extra flavor. So I'm gonna put all of that in there. Whew. Set that to the side. Now I'm gonna stir some of this up first. And then I'm gonna add the dressing, and then I'm gonna toss in the chickpeas. Oh wow, this is so pretty. So pretty. All right, so for the dressing, I used 1 whole lemon, I don't know, maybe a half a cup of oil, salt and pepper to taste, and 1 garlic clove. Now, if you like your salad a little more wet, or more moist, that word, go ahead and, you can add more as you go. But the quinoa is a fairly, it still has the juice in it, so I feel like we'll be okay here. If not, Robin will let me know. So all of the juice will kind of help keep that, get the kale tender. Kale can be very dry. Oh, this looks amazing, and it smells good. All right, now I'm gonna toss in the chickpeas. Very high protein dish here with the chickpeas and the quinoa. And excuse me if I don't say it correctly. It definitely has, when you look at it, it is, people call it quinoa, quinoa. whatever you want to call it. And just toss it up, and voila. This makes a huge portion, or a huge batch, if you will. Now you can cut all of that in half. Obviously you can make just 2 cups or 1 cup of the quinoa to 2 cups of the broth. But let's go ahead and get a fork and taste it. And you might need to add salt and pepper as you go. I can't wear it. Fabulous. Again, I'll try to find the link that I found online. But again, I modified it. And then you can also add feta to this. I did buy a thing of feta. Problem with sometimes adding cheese to the big batch, it will tend to get mushy. So you can always just keep your feta to the side and then add it when you're making your individual bowl. Okay, enjoy.